Welcome back. In this video, it's time to actually save the values. So we prepared everything in the last video, and that was in this add happy place activity where we had this little to-do left, right? So when clicking on the save button, that's where we had to add all of the code in order to save the values that the user entered. But then before we do that, what we need to do is we need to check if the user entered the values or not. So if there are no values entered, then we don't want to store it. So here for the title, we want to have a value, for the description, for the date, location, and the image as well. So in order to check that, what we can do is et title. So this is our edit text title. We use text is null or empty. So if that is the case, then let's inform the user about that. So let's just make a text here. That's a little toast, letting the user know that he should please enter something here. Okay, so I'm just gonna use a toast here. I'm just gonna say, make text, please enter title. Now this has to be surrounded with a when here. So otherwise it's not gonna work. So here we say when the title is null or empty, or the description is null or empty. So here et underscore description, if that is empty, then do the same thing. So we're just gonna copy this whole part here and please enter a description and so forth. All right, and then the next steps as well. So the same for the location, and here et underscore location, and here please enter a location. Now regarding the date, what I want to do is I want to give the user the date automatically. So the date should be automatically assigned once the user opens the screen. So we had this update in view, which we did in our date set listener here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call this method outside of this date set listener as well. So it's going to automatically populate the date with the current date. All right. So that's why we don't need to specifically state something if the date is empty, because it's not going to be empty anyways. And then the next thing that could be is that the save image to internal storage is null. So if that's the case, then I want to inform the user that he should please select an image. So please select an image. And otherwise, so if there is an image, if everything is fine, then I want to go ahead and execute my storage code. So to save everything. All right, so first of all, I need to go ahead and create a happy place model object, which will be of type happy place model, of course. And here we need to pass in all of the different values. So for example, as ID, I'm just going to assign 0 because it's going to auto increment the ID anyway, so we just pass in the default value of 0. Then I pass in the title, so text to string. That will be our title, of course, as you can see here. Title. Now the image string is required, so I'm gonna use save image to internal storage to string. Next we have the description, so et underscore description, text to string, the date, the location, and so forth. So I'm not going to bore you here. I'm just going to enter them in here. So here, of course, the comma is missing. So the date, the location, the latitude, and the longitude. And now that we have the happy place model, we can store it. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and create a DB handler object, which will just be our database handler, which we call, well, which is of type SQLite database, or how's it called here? Yeah, SQLite database. All right, and then we can go ahead and create a add happy place result. So this will be the result, by the way. And the result meaning, if we look at our database handler, we had this method called add happy place, which needs a happy place model object, but then it returns a long value, and we're going to store that long value in our add happy place variable here. We could call this one add happy place result or something like that, of course, as well, but I'm just gonna go with this. And then add happy place should be called with the happy place model that we created. Okay, and now we can go ahead and check if the add happy place is greater than 0, because if that's the case, then we know that there was no error and things worked out. And I'm just gonna display a toast here. I'm just gonna say make text. The happy place details are inserted successfully, and after that we can finish the activity. So at that point we would then come back to our main activity. And of course, what's also nice if we can check the database entries. And I'm just going to use this debug implementation here, im.dino.db inspector or :db inspector :3.4.1 add AAR, which will automatically install an additional application on our device, and then we can debug quite well. So run the test again. So run the application again on the device. And now let's go over here and create a new happy place. I'm going to call this one test 3 because I already created multiple tests. Test description 3, even though it's typed incorrectly or written incorrectly, spelled. So location test 3 as well. Add an image here. We can either use the camera or the library. Either way is fine. So I'm just gonna use the first angle that I'm getting as soon as the camera is loaded. There we are. So let's run or save this. Okay, select it, press save. All right, it's saved. Now let's go back to our phone here. We can see happy place database has been added. The table is called happy places table, and there we have our entry. And in this case we have 3 entries because I tested this already multiple times. As you can see, test 3 is there. We have the image, very long string here, the description, the date, the location, latitude and longitude. All right, cool. So as you can see, it works. So now of course we want to display this in a list view. So let's display all of our happy places in a list view that is nice and appealing. So that's what we're going to do in the next few videos. So see you there.